Thank you so much for tuning in to watch UBC News Tonight, exactly at 10 p.m. Welcome, my name is Sharon. Kyomugisha with Mugalu, Mohammed on sign language. Let's take a look at our headlines today. In our top stories of the day, conjoined twins from Kabong successfully separated. 30 former ADF fighters resettled. Israeli strikes Gaza tower containing media offices. Ryan's through to quarters as Namateka stars in Shi Kataka FC victory. Well, you're watching UBC News Tonight. In our top stories of the day, a team of surgeons from Mugalu National Referral Hospital have successfully conducted a surgical operation to separate conjoined twins. The female twins from Kabong district in Karamoja sub-region shared the pelvis, which required urgent medical and surgical attention. Lead consultant and pediatric surgeon Dr. John Sekabila says the operation lasted 6 hours on Friday, and we have a happy story to tell.
If they completely fail to separate, as it can happen in any abnormality, so when they fail to completely separate, they can result into conjoined twins.
When 19-year-old Betty Lokodo conceived about 9 months ago, she never imagined becoming a twin mother, even when they were miraculously born without her going through cesarean section. It was a challenging experience that required urgent attention. In company of her 2 elder sisters, Betty Lokodo was referred from Kabong to Mugalu National Referral Hospital for further management.
Mom, how you knew?
She wasn't so sure whether she was going to have twins.
The welcoming nature of the doctors, as she attests, is the surgery that separated her conjoined twins.
We found them joined at the lower part of the abdomen, like they were sharing the pelvis and the perineum, but they had all the 4, rather each one, the sets of limbs, appropriate sets of limbs, and we started preparing them for possible separation.
They may be under maximum care, as seen in this picture, but the experience through which the surgeons went to reach this is remarkable.
The key organs that anesthesia worries about are the heart, the lungs, plus or minus the liver. Fortunately, with these children, we did not have to be concerned about their hearts and their lungs, and the imaging that was done showed that these organs were okay. So that was a plus for us.
We had initially planned to have a planned early surgery for these children tomorrow, but then on their 6th day of life, one of them developed an obstruction in the intestine and the baby started vomiting. And so on that day, we tried to, when that happened, we knew that we had to urgently separate them, and we tried to call the other team members who we thought would need.
The operation was conducted free of charge, to the happiness of the twins' mother and that of her sisters. The twins are yet to be given names.
Yeah, she has the support of the husband. He's willing to support her. So by the time they came, the children were together, were made to be together. So when they went to the theater, they were separated, and then they came when they were independent of each other.
Such is the capacity that Uganda's health sector has developed to render services to the population across the country. The recent operation of such nature was conducted at Soroti Regional Referral Hospital in Teso sub-region in eastern Uganda. 2 conjoined twins, one of whom had passed on, were separated, led by Dr. Epodoi. The team earned a befitting tribute from the Ugandan Parliament.
When I got in touch with Dr. Epodoi and asked him that where have you people reached, what did you use, I was shocked that the team that were talking of glowing tribute borrowed a vehicle for coming here. And they even squeezed the same hospital to give them fuel.
All of you in your entirety, we appreciate the difficult circumstances under which you work to make sure that you deliver, that you save our mothers. The mothers of Teso, the mothers of Soroti have asked me to tell you that they are proud of you.
This is the capacity that doctors and surgeons at Mulago Hospital want to see strengthened through more training and retention of experts.
Our target is 1 pediatric surgeon or pediatric anesthesiologist for 100 children. So all we are saying is we need more human resource, that is the nurses, surgeons, critical care physicians, and pediatric anesthesiologists. And then it also comes along with other things. As you train them, you also have to give them resources to use. That means we have to equip intensive care units, wards, and all other utilities which we need.
The successful separation of these female conjoined twins from Kabong is the 3rd operation to be conducted at Mulago Hospital in the last 5 months. This team of 6 surgical experts was backed by other support staff to reach this milestone. Henry Okurut, UBC.
Great news to the parents and to Mulago Hospital. In more stories, the Minister for Information and National Guidance, Judith Nabakoba, has applauded Ugandans for the discipline they exhibited during the swearing-in day that took place on Wednesday. The Minister also appeals to police and security agencies to get in touch with border owners that were confiscated a day before swearing and get back to them. She was addressing the media at ICT Ministry in Kampala District. Details follow.
People enjoyed their life, they had fun, they had the parties, meaning that at least they enjoyed life. And I don't remember registering any major incident.
A day before swearing in of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, a number of motorcycles suspected of flouting the COVID-19 guidelines were impounded by police. Now the Minister of Information and National Guidance, Judith Nabakoba, wants the owners of the motorcycles to approach police stations to process the return of their borders.
That is an operational matter. My advice would be go to the respective police stations, lodge in your complaint, and cases will be handled on case-to-case basis, depending on why.
The Deputy Police Spokesperson, Kampala Metropolitan, Luke Oweyesigile, says owners need to prove ownership before the motorcycles can be returned to them.
As I'm talking right now, most of the riders have picked their motorcycles, and the procedure are you have to come, be issued with an EPS ticket, go pay it, come with a document that confirms you're the owner of the motorcycle, and pick your motorcycle with proof that you've paid the EPS ticket. It depends on the offense, but they are paying 40,000 and above.
On cabinet expiry, Nabakoba explained that they are continue serving Ugandans and did they receive official communication from the Attorney General.
Me, I will still continue with my role of informing the public. I cannot leave that virtue, that it was dissolved. We haven't received any written directive. But once we receive it, then we shall definitely comply.
The minister also advised travelers from countries with high-risk COVID-19 to first test for COVID-19 on arrival.
All those incoming travelers from US, United Kingdom, United Arab Emirates, Turkey, South Africa, Ethiopia, Kenya, South Sudan and Tanzania must undergo a COVID-19 test. Travelers from those countries will be paying $65 for the COVID test upon arrival. However, for travelers with full vaccination cards and they are asymptomatic, those will not be required to do the test.
This comes at a time when some of the MPs waiting for swearing in are in some of the countries with high evidence of COVID-19. Edwin Yachuara, UBC News.
In more news, former Allied Democratic Forces fighters in Kasese district have received resettlement package. The Amnesty Commission handed over assorted non-food items that included mattresses, blankets, hose and saucepans. The items plus a certificate are expected to help them settle in their communities.
Former Allied Democratic Forces fighters in Kasese district are ready to settle down after announcing their rebellion against government. The over 30 former rebels from Kithoru and Kiraro of Kasese district received mattresses, blankets, hose and saucepans from the Amnesty Commission. Thomas Kisembo, a commissioner with the Amnesty Commission, said the packages also include cash package.
We give them a startup. 263,000 shillings, which they can use to start life. We advise them they can buy goats, they can buy, if they are not Muslims, pigs and the rest, or can use them to start brick-making activity, and that money can multiply.
The commission will also cater for vocational skills, especially for women, so that they can start up their businesses.
We taught them in beauty care, we taught them baking, we taught them sewing, tailoring, and many other things. And these people, some of them are already carrying out the other activities. And also give them some plants like vanilla and others so that they can plant and get money.
Adrina Mbabu is one of the female returnees who commended the government towards their settlement.
I thank the government. They have received us from, we are the one of the reporters. So by today's of the government, we thank that they have agreed to be with us. So today they have bring us something that to be free in minds, that we have been the one of the reporters today. We thank the government of today's that they have helped us to bring this to be protected in our minds.
The ADF, which originated in the 1990s as a Ugandan Muslim labor group under the leadership of Jamiri Mukulu, terrorized the areas around Mount Rwenzori in western Uganda before relocating the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo after their defeat.
Over 150 youth across the country have been trained on how to support people with mental health challenges in communities. The young have been trained under BRAC Uganda COVID-19 Recovery and Resilient Program. We have a detailed report on this story.
The COVID-19 pandemic has caused psychosocial challenges to many people because of the negative impact it has inflicted on the population. Some people have lost loved ones, while others have lost their source of livelihood, and all these are major causes of psychosocial challenges. BRAC Uganda, under the COVID-19 Recovery and Resilience Program, has trained over 150 youths on how to identify and help people with psychosocial challenges.
So we thought it would be a good opportunity to use these students that we have been supporting at different levels to train them in mental health and psychosocial support, to be able to support their colleagues at school level, their colleagues, their relatives, and even community members to deal with the effects of COVID-19 that have culminated from the different restrictions and demands as a result of the disease. So the intention of this training is to ensure that they are empowered with the knowledge with the skills to support, to provide psychosocial support, community members to their peers, so that they are able to deal with the effects of the disease.
These youth have also been equipped with vital counseling skills to help those with mental challenges.
In such a way, when we go to our communities, we interact with people and be able to, if these people are facing with psychosocial stressors, we'll be able to interact with them and give support, psychosocial support to them, such that those stressors they're having won't progress to become mental health disorders.
And solving that can be through counseling, just talking to someone, showing them love, care. That's all.
Like we are going to help our community. We are going to identify those people who are going through mental disorders. We encourage them how to cope up with those disorders. Then even you attach them to the mental facilities.
BRACA Uganda COVID-19 Recovery and Resilient Program is a one-year project aimed at training at least 200 youth to provide psychotherapy services in communities where they live. Adiana Kute, UBC.
Now, the Vicar of St. Paul's Cathedral in Namirembe, Reverend George William Chayune, has advised married couples to love, be patient and forgive one another. He says it is among best options to resolve problems which may cause marriage breakups. Now, this was during a Thanksgiving ceremony to mark 40 years of Professor and Dr. Cecilia Kaiwa marriage.
It was a moment of happiness and joy at St. Paul's Cathedral, Namirembe, as the Chancellor Kaiwa International University and founder of Namirembe Christian Fellowship, Professor Simeon Kaiwa and Dr. Cecilia Kaiwa celebrated their 40 years in marriage. The Kaiwas renewed their whole matrimony at the cathedral where they were wedded in May 1981. The Vicar of St. Paul's Cathedral, Namirembe, Reverend George William Chayune, hailed the two for loving each other in the marriage and spreading the word of God. He advised the married couples to avoid cases which may cause marriage breakups.
Love and duty are compared with testimony. They quickly fail.
He also applauded the founder of Namirembe Christian Fellowship, Professor Simeon Kaiwa, for promoting good morals among religious leaders, which has contributed to the growth and expansion of churches in the world. The Kaiwas are optimistic with their anniversary, saying that forgiveness, love, patience and maintaining peace are the best tools to keep marriage stable.
Married people to always remember that it's better to have peace than to be right. That's how you preserve, you keep your marriage, loving each other, and also to disremember completely anything of the past.
And I thank God who has enabled us to walk that walk of 40 years in marriage. I thank my husband, Simeon Kaiwa, for loving me and for caring for me and for keeping the vows that he made 40 years ago.
He said it is a Christian teaching to always remember where one came from.
Our coming here was to demonstrate to the people that they should not fight each other, but they should be one. And he said they should be one in Christ. And that's why what I've been fighting for a long time, we don't fight against anybody. Rather, we try to unite everybody in Christ, because there's only one Christ.
The police bank entertained the believers with hymns at Namirembe Christian Fellowship.
Well, congratulations to Dr. and Cecile Kaiwa for that milestone, 40 years in marriage. In more stories, the Directorate of Industrial Training in the Ministry of Education and Sports has developed assessment training packages under the lower secondary curriculum for 78 various occupations. The Acting Director, Directorate of Industrial Training, Patrick Biakatonda, says learners will be subjected to vocational training to prepare them for gainful employment.
The National Curriculum Development Center and the Ministry of Education and Sports rolled out a lower secondary curriculum in February 2020 to equip graduates with employable skills that are competitive on the labor market. The acting director, Directorate of Industrial Training and Ministry of Education and Sports, Patrick Byakachonda, says they have so far developed assessment training package for 78 vocational occupations. He was addressing secondary school teachers in Greater Hoima region on the new curriculum setup. The curriculum will equip learners with employable skills while still at school so that they can start up income-generating activities when out.
What are the private schools training for? That is the theme. There are so many occupations. Each school trains according to its own resources. There are also skills in performing arts. There are skills in physical education. And remember, physical education and sports is compulsory from senior 1 up to senior 2. So how will those schools implement if they don't have the required work? However, we said, even if it is only the goodwill and the entrepreneurship to implement those courses.
National Curriculum Development Center is training teachers to integrate skills training in lower secondary.
Or the main aim is to produce graduates who have employable skills that are competitive in the market. So our guns in the new lower secondary curriculum are pointing at that when a learner interacts with the teachers, he must acquire employable skills. And when they are in senior 3, the new curriculum will give them an opportunity to be assessed by the body which is mandated to assess people who can do something.
The Deputy Principal of Bulera Koa PTC, Echeitisa Margaret, says the new curriculum has made the education sector more practical.
If we teach our children well, practically, we give them skills, they will be able to come up, they will earn a living, and they will be able to help the societies and the communities and the families where they are coming from. No poverty will be there.
8 elective subjects for the start to be assessed by the Directorate of Industrial Training include agriculture, art and design, entrepreneurship, performing arts, nutrition and food technology, ICT, physical education, technology and design. Students will get a DIT certificate at the end of senior 3.
A short commercial break and we'll be back with business stories. Annie?
In chess, the small one can become the big one. It's the same here. And here too. Watch every move. Record every number so you can plan better. No matter the size of your dream, tomorrow's success belongs to those who keep today's records clean. File your returns today.
Uganda Revenue Authority. Developing Uganda together.
We've cut and reduced our MTN Momo withdrawal rates. Now you can withdraw mobile money at the lowest rates. You also get MTN Central Points when you deposit, send and withdraw MTN mobile money. Visit our Momo agents countrywide and withdraw mobile money at our reduced rates from 1st May 2021. Everywhere you go. MTN.
Echa COVID-19 chijja kugwa. If we get vaccinated now, observe social distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly Together we can defeat this enemy.
The Clerk to Parliament informs all members-elect of the 11th Parliament that the swearing-in and inauguration of the 11th Parliament will take place from Monday 17th to Thursday 20th May 2021 at Parliament from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on all 4 days. Please take note as follows. Check for the date and time allocated on the back of their invitation cards. Members-elect of Parliament should be accompanied by 3 persons only. Members-elect with disabilities will be granted 1 additional person as an aid. The first sitting of Parliament, at which the Speaker and Deputy Speaker will be elected respectively, will take place on Monday 24th May 2021 at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds starting at 10 a.m. All members of Parliament will be required to take a COVID-19 test. Tests will be taken at Parliament on Thursday 20th and Friday 21st May 2021 between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Transport will be provided from Parliament to Kololo and back and will depart from Parliament at 8 a.m. To access Parliament and Kololo, all members-elect are requested to carry their national identity cards. Those without ID cards should carry letters from both police and NIRA or the NIRA registration slip with any other additional identification card with a photograph. Signed by Clerk to Parliament.
What does it mean to be closer together? It's taking the last bus home for a surprise visit. Closer together is strangers finding a connection. It's bringing home something much more than a box. It's the warmth of home or the beginning of something new. There's magic in sharing the things that we love, because it's those things that bring us close together.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. In our business stories, Makerere University School of Food, Technology and Nutrition has urged young people to tap into the services sector for job creation. Such services are baking and for confectionery growing at a very high rate to serve the needs of the growing population. Details follow.
The youth have been advised to take advantage of the growing population to create employment by tapping into the services sector. Such services include baking and confectionery, which are growing at a very fast rate to meet the demands of the growing population. Makerere University School of Food, Technology and Nutrition is partnering with the private sector to give more skills to young women in the baking industry.
These baked goods and confectionery products have increasingly becoming so popular in Uganda and across the globe because of their convenience. But also due to the increasing population, there is a high demand of these products. So the opportunity is huge, and the youth and women who involve in this enterprise are able to get a huge return.
Aga Creations, a private company dealing in cake design, is helping young women to improve on their baking skills.
Most of the people, especially on parties, especially people who have parties, they want something that is nice. Because if you're a baker and you don't have skills or modern approach or training designs on cakes, you find yourself doing something that is not so nice for the party. So you need to get more skills, more approaches, more ingredients, so that the cake or the product you're going to make, it is so highly creative and tasty.
The trainees have appreciated the program, saying that it has helped them to learn more confectionery techniques.
Today I've really learned about royal icing. It's something I've always really wanted to learn, and I learned how to do the perfect measures for royal icing. I also learned how to do that really soft butter icing, and it's really
been a really very remarkable experience. I've loved everything.
In future, like Uganda, it's very hard to find a job. So in future, if there's nothing to do, I've learned this, so I'll be making cakes. And
the youth need to tap into available opportunities like in the services sector to avoid joblessness. Adiana Kute, UBC.
Kidepo Valley National Park is one of the country's finest nature conservation areas with rare species of wildlife, though it is the least visited of the 11 national parks. Now, it was previously a hunting ground for the IK and for livestock grazing during past release until 1962 when it was gazetted. It is currently the third biggest national park in Uganda and one of the most beautiful parks in Africa, lying in the far northeastern district of Karenga border, South Sudan. And so we have a detailed report on this story.
Kidepo Valley National Park is the third biggest national park in Uganda out of the 10 national parks, and it's basically by 2 valleys.
Located in the same arid valleys of Kidepo and Narusi River, Kidepo Valley National Park is by far Uganda's most beautiful nature conservation area.
Now you can come to Kidepo. You can drive 24 hours without any problem. You can drive through the eastern arm of Uganda, through Mbale, Moroto to Kidepo. You can drive through Gulu, Kampala, Gulu, Kidgum to Kidepo without any problem. 24 hours you can be in Kidepo. Insecurity issue has been addressed by government. And
covering 1,442 square kilometers, Kidepo Valley National Park has all sorts of wildlife, but mainly the rare Nubian giraffe, ostriches, elephants, buffaloes, lions and antelopes.
Kidepo has 86 mammal species, of which 28 are endemic to Kidepo. Meanwhile, 475 bird species, of which 14 endemic to Kidepo. And the animals we expect to see elephants, giraffes, the buffaloes, the zebras, the antelopes like the waterbacks, reedbacks, Uganda kob, the oribis, springbok, waterbacks.
Kidepo Valley National Park was previously home to about 300 rhinos, though they are now extinct, with the last one having been seen in 1983. The Savannah Landscaped National Park derived its name from Kidepo, a Karamojong word loosely translated as picking palm oil fruits from the ground, and is about 510 kilometers northeast of Kampala by road.
Kidepo basically means picking from down, picking from below. So they will go pick those fruits, come back home, so the children ask them, the fruits are so nice, where did you pick them? They'll tell them Kidepo, you pick them from down. So when the park was gazetted, the pronunciation, so you are called Kidepo, that's where they all came in.
Situated at the junction between Uganda, South Sudan and Kenya, Kidepo National Park is the third biggest national park in Uganda after Machishon and Queen Elizabeth National Park. The open savanna terrain with wildlife spread out in every corner makes Narusi Valley the park's prime game viewing location.
It's one of the key spectacular national parks and one of the Africa's parks that are remaining as true African wilderness. We won accolades for the last 3 years. We have been rated as the best park in Uganda and the 30 best in Africa. And when you are 30 best in Africa, that means you are the best in the world. And that is really what propels us and gives us courage and a motivation that we are really doing our best to make this park what you people need.
Kidepo is defined by same arid valleys sustained by Kidepo and the Narusi seasonal rivers. The Karamojong and the communities that were previously driven out of this nature gem in 1962 when it was gazetted by the then colonial government are now providing cultural tourism, with the IK concentrating on farming and honey gathering, while the Karamojong brothers are more into cattle herding. A few kilometers away from Kidepo Valley National Park is Aru Falls, the cascading streams of roaring waterfalls that offer a thrilling, memorable and audacious experience to nature lovers off Angururu town in Paderi district on the Guru-Kitugum highway. Aru Falls is about 47 kilometers from Guru and 57 kilometers from Kitugum. Aru Waterfalls is an ideal place for the adventurous who might want to enjoy a cool bath. Accessing the forest is adventurous as the place can only be accessed through rock protrusions and not so a well-defined path. Kidepo Valley National Park, that lies in the rugged savanna between Uganda's border with Sudan and Kenya, is an ideal tourism destination. Habimana Deo, reporting for Ubc News.
In efforts to improve quality assurance and Uganda's competitiveness as a tourist destination, Uganda Tourism Board is set to undertake a nationwide grading and classification exercise of hotel and accommodation facilities. As a member of the East African community, Uganda subscribes to the East African Grading and Classification Criteria, a system denoted by stars ranging from 1 to 5. The grading and classification exercise will be crowned by the awarding of star ratings to facilities found compliant to the EAC minimum standards. This is therefore a call to all accommodation and facility owners and managers to register and get licensed by UTB as a requirement and get ready for participation. For more information, visit www.utb.go.ug or email qualityassurance@utb.go.ug for details. Uganda Tourism Board, promoting tourism together.
The Clerk to Parliament informs all members-elect of the 11th Parliament that the swearing-in and inauguration of the 11th Parliament will take place from Monday 17th to Thursday 20th May 2021 at Parliament from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on all 4 days. Please take note as follows. Check for the date and time allocated on the back of their invitation cards. Members-elect of Parliament should be accompanied by 3 persons only. Members-elect with disabilities will be granted 1 additional person as an aide. The first sitting of Parliament, at which the Speaker and Deputy Speaker will be elected respectively, will take place on Monday 24th May 2021 at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds starting at 10 a.m. All members of Parliament will be required to take a COVID-19 test. Tests will be taken at Parliament on Thursday 20th and Friday 21st May 2021 between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Transport will be provided from Parliament to Kololo and back and will depart from Parliament at 8 a.m. To access Parliament and Kololo, all members-elect are requested to carry their national identity cards. Those without ID cards should carry letters from both police and NERA or the NERA registration slip with any other additional identification card with a photograph. Signed by Clerk to Parliament.
Welcome back to Ubc News Tonight. From the international scene, the owner of a bombed high-rise building in Gaza City housing offices of international media outlets denied his building containing assets of Hamas intelligence agency after the airstrike launched by Israel obliterated the 12-story building. The building, Jala Tower, housed offices of Al Jazeera TV and Associated Press, as well as residential apartments. Media staff and other tenants were back to find the working equipment in the debris as they had evacuated after receiving a warning before the strike. The bombing left many tenants homeless. According to an Israeli military spokesperson, the building contained military assets belonging to the intelligence offices of Hamas. Now, Jawad Mehdi, the owner of the Jala Tower, said no evidence for the claim has been provided. Eyewitnesses said Israeli military drones fired the first 2 rockets at the high-rise, and then Israeli fighter jets fired 4 bombs at the building and leveled it to the ground.
بس نزلت هي والأولاد وشردوا وبعد ساعة زمالة وبرج نزل طبعا احنا خفنا نرجع.
Very unfortunate for what is going on between Israel and Palestine. Now, thousands marched in the streets of London in the United Kingdom on Saturday, protesting against the Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip, calling for equal rights of Palestinians and demanding that the British government add pressure in calls to stop the brutal violence. The protest took place on the same day that Israeli fighter jets bombed and demolished Chala Tower, a high-rise building in Gaza City housing Al Jazeera TV and Associated Press offices, as well as residential apartments. The building contained military assets belonging to the intelligence officers of Hamas, said an Israeli military spokesperson in a statement. At least 148 Palestinians, including 41 children, have been killed during the week-long conflict in the Gaza Strip, according to reports. Protesters have been voicing their opposition to Israel's military response in Gaza and the West Bank across Europe and at around 40 locations in the UK. Saturday also marked the anniversary of the Nakba Day, or Day of the Catastrophe, which was after Israel declared its independence in 1948. The new wave of violence in the region is said by media outlets and experts to stem from an Israeli court decision which enabled authorities to forcibly remove Palestinian families from their homes in the West Bank. Action in the Federation of Uganda Football Association's Women Elite League has entered match day 2 for Group B at the Fufa Technical Center in Njeru. In the games played, Ryan's Women Football Club beat Bunyaruguru 1-0 courtesy of a Peace Aloha free kick. Now that goal ensured that Ryan's picks a further 3 points to cement its place in the quarterfinals after amassing 6 points. In the other game, She Kataka Women Football Club needed Esther Namataka's brace to see off Resilient Townview with a 4-2 victory. The other goal for She Kataka was scored by Catherine Namataka and Shakira Nandudu, while Salwa Nakaima and Elizabeth Anyango were in the score share for Townview. As it stands, Ryan's on 6 points is already through to the quarterfinals, with She Kataka second in the group on 4. Bunyaruguru has 3, while Townview is last with none. The teams take a break on Monday before resuming with the final group games on Tuesday, with She Kataka playing Ryan's as Townview did Bunyaruguru. Swimming culture in Uganda has over the years been stuck at medals and trophies for winners. That is about to change upon introduction of a swimming league hosted at British School of Kampala. Watch.
Uganda's swimmers have a chance to graduate from getting only medals and trophies upon success after competitions. This follows a newly introduced league that is to play out at the British School of Kampala, with the winners now getting ready for a cash prize. This is the first of its kind and will involve drafting of swimmers into random teams to compete over a determined set of time. The tournament that will be commercial has already witnessed some action, and its organization is explained by swimmer Kato Clayton.
Basically, not everyone can join the group. You have to be scouted or drafted to join it. So basically, the best of the best can join it. And this event is not like normal swimming. Normally swimming, you're racing as a single person. Basically, you blame all the losses and wins on yourself. So if you win, for normal swimming, you've won alone. You've not won as a group. But in this event, for the team's coach and talent, you win as a group and lose as a group. So basically, it's the system is the more wins you get, the more points you rank up, and the higher the points are. So for example, if we are 10 swimmers in each group, so first place will get 20 points, second place will get 19, like that, so on. And by the end of it, the team with the highest points wins.
The league will tentatively be played every Friday and is open to any Ugandan with proven swimming skills. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
In more sports news, Uganda Chess Federation has finalized its World Cup qualifiers with the action hosted at Precious Villas, Lubowa, Kampala, capital city suburb. The winner will represent Uganda at the Chess World Cup due 10th July 2021 in the Russian city of Sochi.
6 of Uganda's best chess players have over the past fortnight been engaged in a World Cup qualifier.
There are some players that we did not come up with, especially like Sonko Matthias, Alan. It's not that we didn't want him to be part of it, but we looked at the active players that have really been active, especially during COVID, whereby we have been having players play online, and Alan Sonko did not participate in any of the online events.
The contest has been between Patrick Kauma, Elijah Emojong, Arthur Segwanyi, Haruna Nsubuga, Walter Okas, and Harold Wanyama.
The level of competition has been extremely high. We have played events, but this is one of the events that players have shown great moves. So the levels have been deep. That means players have come prepared, and because this is the top 6 battling it out. So the level is so high.
These players contested 10 rounds in a double round robin that has climaxed with Arthur Segwanyi champion and thus Uganda's ambassador to the World Cup.
This event has been very tough, actually much tougher than I expected. I might be leading, but it's not a true indication of the games. I've been quite lucky too. Of course, these are the top players in Uganda, so I expected a tough event initially, but it's even harder.
Going into the final game, Segwanyi led by 7 points and secured passage to the World Cup after beating Kauma in a close contest. Though competition between players were top-notch, Uganda Chess Federation President Emmanuel Mwaka explains logistical challenges that almost derailed them.
The qualifiers have hit the last round today, Sunday. However, we are facing challenges concerning sponsorship of the players. Uganda is a chess powerhouse in Africa, and we expected to win most of the slots at such levels in our zone. However, due to non-commitment from government, so far there is zero support for chess, and therefore we have hit hard obstacles in our run to attend the World Cup qualifiers that are due in Malawi, and also in our battle to ensure we enforce SOPs and play the game safely.
This will be Segwanyi's second shot at the World Cup, having been there in 2015, losing to Dutch Grandmaster Anish Giri in the first round.
Aspiring Olympians in South Africa are working a lot harder to achieve their dreams, although the COVID-19 outbreak tore up the sporting calendar, leaving athletes training in the backyards. 4-time South African figure skating champion Isaacs hasn't let this deter her. Now, she still has her eyes set on making the cut for next year's Winter Olympic Games in Beijing. Top-ranked Isaacs is confident and graceful on the ice. She tried on her skates when she was just 7 and at 16 hopes to become the first South African since 1998 to compete in the Winter Olympics. Isaacs remained optimistic through the lockdown despite not being able to train or compete. Since getting back onto the ice, her focus has been on next year's Winter Games in Beijing. Well, that's all we had for you tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in to watch Ubc News Tonight at exactly 10 p.m. My name is Sharon. Kyomugisha with Mugalu, Mohammed of Sign Language. From the team and I, have a lovely night. Stay tuned for more programming coming you and a great week ahead of you. God's blessings. Bye.
Beyond Beauty Parlor and